so delighted that so many of you could join us this evening to remember, to pay tribute to, and to share some memories of a guy who truly left his mark on all of us, and most particularly this wonderful center and this community. Every year, no matter where he was in the world, Eddie would call me on my birthday. He always did. Some years, even when he was living in Panama, he would show up at my office in the middle of Toronto unannounced. He would just show up, hand me a birthday present, and then be gone just as quickly as that.
Edward Palonek was certainly a man for all seasons, a fine businessman, a wonderful and loving dad. He had a drive to seek out the next generation of ideas and deliver on them. He shared his talents with many, but mostly he was a man of great compassion for his community.
He was the toughest kid in the class, and why wouldn't he be tough? He grew up right here in the Keith neighborhood. You all know what Mohawk College means to this organization. He gave 8 full tuition scholarships. They were called the Frank and Eva Palonek Memorial Scholarships. I know how proud all of you are of him, and I know how proud his kids and his sister are.
I'm invited here today to speak with you on how the Eva Rothwell Centre changed my life. I was once a little preschooler running around these halls of the building, and I've been involved with the programs ever since. This past semester, I was truly in financial need, and the Pathways to Education program granted me with a bursary that was more than enough for my tuition, which allowed me to continue my studies and receiving the Dean's List for both semesters of my programming. I would like to thank the Eva Rothwell Centre. Thank you for shaping me into the young woman I am today and allowing me to celebrate the life of Edward. May we always remember the great work he did in this community, because if he didn't, I wouldn't have been the person I am today. Thank you.
Edward's legacy has been a part of every donation this center has received and will receive in the years ahead. For without someone like him stepping up in the very beginning, this center likely would not be here today. And we mean that. On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Eva Rothwell Centre, Anne-Marie and I are pleased to announce today that a wing in the center has been named in Ed's honor and will proudly display this plaque that honors Edward.
I know Edward would be so humbled that everyone took the time to celebrate his journey with him today. I was still hoping that this was all a bad dream and he would be joining us any minute now by parachute with his Navy SEAL team in hand. And his favorite one-liner, "That's why you pay me the big bucks." It's times like these that you replay and remember all the good memories. You try to forget any of the bad, and then you just laugh out loud about all the stories that you're not even allowed to talk about. There was always an adventure with the legendary Fast Eddie, aka Edward, Eduardo, EP, and Pa. If you truly knew Edward, you knew he was a kind soul who loved his 2 daughters dearly, always looked out for his sister Janet. He would give his shirt off his back for his friends far and near. You will never be forgotten, my friend, and you are forever in my heart. Thank you.
It was my pleasure to defend him against a very irate gondolier in Venice who claimed that he and his buddy, namely Steve Paikin, had pelted said gondolier with rotten fruit and or vegetables from their hotel window that overlooked a back canal. I knew these boys were guilty, but I figured I'd owed each of them at least one major favor, so we were able to settle on a cleaning bill instead of some other ridiculous Italian vendetta that the gondolier was demanding. Ed approached all of life with an amazing smile and chuckle, and I'm sure that he is doing likewise at the moment during these reminiscences. Brian Wiley. I remember when he turned 16 and he got his driver's license, he bought a truly old, beaten-up, disgusting, ugly car, and I will never forget the pride that Eddie demonstrated when he showed up with that new car, and it wasn't because it was such a beautiful car, trust me, it was not. But what Eddie's car did have that no other car in that parking lot did have was a bar. But I can still see his face absolutely beaming at how pleased he was that no, maybe he didn't have the fanciest car in that parking lot, but dang it, he did have the only car in that parking lot with a homemade bar in the glove box. And that was pretty cool. Just one of about 1,000 happy memories I have of my nearly 45 years with your dad and your brother.
I know that Edward is now in heaven, I have no doubts, and is not in any more pain, and we will see him again when we all see him with his contagious smile.